just gonna jump straight into it and just say I think SCP now, it kind of sucks. Alright, I remember like 2-3 years ago, man, it was a fun game. Like it was so completely different to what it is now. Like the community back then was different. The way the game felt was different. And I'm just not sure if it has anything to do with the community changing, the nostalgia. Maybe it could be the nostalgia. It could be like I've gotten older and I was looking back at that time and I go, that was more fun. But I think it is generally the change in the way the whole game has changed completely at its heart. There might be some people that come along now that think, yeah, I really like this game now. I don't see how it could be any good back then, really. Like, it's like a jank game then. It's like sort of like the Halo fans. It's kind of like how the new Halo CE Combat Evolved or whatever's come out, and some of them are complaining that there's no sprint or anything like that. But if you get like someone that's like 14 now and like give them a game where you can't fucking sprint, he's gonna turn that shit off because he's gonna be gone in 20 seconds. He'll get bored. So maybe that might be the way that some people now will view the game. But let's just get into this. I think some of the things that made SCP good back then was the proximity chat. It was kind of like Gary's mod, but you had a clear defined goal. Like if you were a D-boy, you get into the entrance. If you're a scientist, you get into the entrance, but you might be using, hoping that MTF come and save your life, like one of the guards come and get you. Or the chaos, if you're a D-boy and you get lucky enough that the chaos fucking spawn, I mean, you're praising the skies. Like, you're like, thank fuck for that, I can get out. Well, maybe unless unless Peanut or something gets you. Even for the SCPs, the SCPs, the goals have always been the same, kill everyone, do everything. But the SCPs now, the way they work and the way they interact with each other is so different. I feel like back maybe 2-3 years ago, the SCPs, they used to be, you could have one SCP and I feel like you wouldn't need a whole team to kill everyone. Just have one Larry or one Peanut by themselves was enough to fucking put the fear of God in you and like 4 or 5 other people around you. It's like you could play it more independently then, rather than now. I see a lot more people communicate a lot more, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but it's just different, The reskins as well, the updates. As the updates have come out, it's more of like a slow and steady change. But the main changes for me was the reskins of the SCPs. You've got the dog that works completely differently now. Peanut works the same but kind of differently. It had a different feeling to it, different mechanics to it. You had, Shy Guy's pretty much the same. He's just a bit more amped up. You can see people through walls and stuff like that. 106 is quite a lot different. You hit them once back in the golden age, like 2-3 years ago, and they go. It's quite funny. Or you could set your teleporter, walk all the way down to entrance, go down and come back up in heavy again. Whereas now, and you can tank all the bullets you want as well. The only way to kill 106 is throw 5 waves of people at him, or get someone into his containment area and sacrifice them. Which I was forcefully sacrificed a couple of times, but that is what it is. We've all been there. I think another major update anyway was the stamina. Adding stamina was a complete and utter game changer. That went from, you could just sprint and you could juke out the SCPs or whoever quite easily, or at least if you had played long enough, you could, jumping off from different walls, bouncing from wall to wall, corner to corner. You could do whatever you want. But when they added that stamina in, it's like it added a whole. It almost became a whole new game for me because you had to conserve your stamina. You know, you couldn't just go run, run, run the whole time and juke and juke. You sort of just you gotta save that stamina. You've got to make sure you conserve it and you use it at the right time. It became more of a strategic feel, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it made the game feel so different, you know. But I've also found in the recent changes, people, they don't really tend to go for the nuke room anymore. And they don't really tend to go like they do tend to. Of course, the D boys try to escape. Same with the scientists and stuff. But it feels like there's more sidetracking going on. It feels like it's not as important to get to that entrance anymore. It's like everything really is going on inside of the facility. Whereas before, 3 years ago, you'd beeline it for the entrance and get out and go back to go save other people. Now it's more, everyone's dead in 6 or 7 minutes or less, and you've got MTF spawning in. The majority of the game used to be you had deep class and scientists getting out with MTF trying to slow the SCPs down, or the SCPs just hunting everyone down, like making it like a proper horror game, quite scary. But now going to the entrance kind of feels useless. You know, it just feels like, okay, I'm now at MTF. I'm gonna go in there and go shoot the SCPs. I'm not even going for the nuke room anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's rare that the nuke gets triggered by people, at least in the games I've found. It just doesn't have that same feeling of satisfaction, you know. And I don't know if that's because everything looks different. The community is different, they've got a different way of playing, or if the developers have encouraged a new way of playing. I mean, you got like the candy bit where you can, all the D-class and scientists can go get candies and give them boosts and stuff. We didn't, like, I'm saying this like I'm an old man, like you know, I used to walk to school for like 15 years, of get there, do an hour class, and walk back another 15. That's kind of, I feel like I sound anyway, but we didn't have that back then. It was kind of more fun without it, you know. It was more down to your skill and your luck, realistically. Now it's more down to what items can I get, how fast can I get this card, whose head should I step on to get to this part. Before as well, I feel like the game used to, the vibe it gave was, it felt like a fan, or like a group of fans had collaborated and made this all in their own mother's basement. You know, it felt like this is a shitty game, like in terms of graphics and there being glitches and bugs and stuff like that, but that gave it its own charm. It gave it more like what felt more community driven, like game, if that makes sense. Like now people might come like, oh, I like the gunplay or whatever. But it used to feel more like people were just coming to meet the other people, sort of like Gary's mod. Gary's mod, it's not really based on the great mechanics here. It's more based on the people that you meet and you talk to. You can make a lot of friends on these sorts of games, especially with proximity chat. The community's reaction to all of this, I've heard mixed things. Some people did really like it, and they've liked the way it's turned out, and they like the way it's just, you know, it's modernized. It's more clean now. It looks better. It's a bit scarier maybe for some people. They like the mechanics, which is fair enough. I mean, I totally get it. I haven't made this video just to like dunk on the developers or people that enjoy the game for what it is now. I've just made this video because I wanted to express the way that I feel and how I know a lot of other people feel by talking to them in game. Because you can really tell that with this game, the developers have a lot of love for the community and just SCP in general, you know. Um, but it's just my opinion at the end of the day, you know. I think I I like the work that they've put into it, and I like that it's different now. You know, you can't just have the same thing over and over. That will get boring. I appreciate that, but I think for me it was the graphics change and it was that stamina. I think you could have added in most of the other updates, like the heavy containment changes, like how there's more different rooms now and it's got this weird layout I don't really understand yet. But adding those two things just completely changed the game for me. And I think it did for a lot of other people. I don't think everyone loved it. I mean, some people do like it, but it's like, for example, I've seen on the Discord, on the SCP Discord, that there are some people that have just made a new server, or there's several different people that have made several different servers that are the old versions of the game. So to me, that shows a real want and desire for, you know, that old sort of feeling, that old game again. And if people have to create these new servers of the old versions, then it must show you that there is at least some sort of divide in the community. I'm not saying it's a divide as in like a negative divide, but a divide in opinion on what's fun and what might be not so fun to other people. Me personally, I'm too much of a lazy fucker to change onto a different version and find those servers. So I just play the newer version, mainly just because I think that's where most of the people are. And on that, actually, I feel like the player count has really sort of dipped. I haven't looked at the stats. I might do in a minute, but you know, I haven't looked at them at the moment. But to me, it feels like the servers are more empty. It might have always been like that. I might just be being stupid, but I feel like the player count has dropped, and that's not due to a lack of updates, obviously, or development or anything like that. I think that's just due to people preferring other types of games. Some people just want to, you know, that old sort of feeling, and going over to Gary's mod and playing SCP servers on there, where it's more of like role play and it looks more like run down, if that makes sense. You know, you've got really shitty skins for SCPs. Bloody hell. Even on Gmod. Yeah, you don't have that on SCP SL anymore. SCP feels like it's being created more by a real proper development studio, which is a good thing, you know. It's a good thing. I'm glad more money has gone into the game and more love and compassion has come out from the developers and is translated into a really fun game still. I'm just saying it's not my cup of tea anymore. I'll still play the game from time to time just because I'm always going to have that love for it. But it's like I'm watching, like, I don't know how to describe it. I'm just watching a game that used to be this, and it's slowly turning into this. It's becoming a whole new sort of game. It's still got the basics there, but it feels completely different. The way it works is completely. It's like if you have a Ferrari and a fucking, I don't know, Toyota. You know, they're the same. They're both still a car, but they're completely different when you're driving them. You know, that's how I'd explain it. I think the only hope for people like me, or like yourself maybe, is going onto those servers that are on the old versions. But I think it's just gone too far, in my opinion. I don't think we're ever going to have that feeling back. Which isn't a bad thing. We do have to move on, but the identity of the heart and soul of not just the game, but the developers and the community, it's all changed. It seems to be, it's like it's matured a lot. And I don't know, maybe this is like how it was always intended to be, but I don't know, I just think it was better then than it is now. You know, please, you know, in the comments, tell me your feelings. Tell me how you feel about, you know, tell me how would you solve this, you know, if you could. If I've done anything stupid, you know, let me know as well in the comments. I can take the criticism. Maybe, as long as you're not too mean, I might not cry. Right, anyway, I've been Elevators. See you in a bit.